Hello, my name is Donald Best. I have a master's degree in mental health and years experience helping parents with various behavior problems with their children. Very often when I meet just anybody who finds out I'm a therapist or work with a parent, meet one professionally, meet a parent professionally, I'll get into an argument over whether or not I'm against spanking. And let me tell you what I'm against. I'm against child abuse. I'm against that. I'm against not disciplining your children. I'm against neglecting your children. Very often those two are the same thing. So yeah, I would never say that I am against spanking. I'm not strongly for it. I never encourage parents to spank their children. Personally, I only use it in one very narrow example. Only time I would ever use corporal punishment. I'll tell you about that some other time. But very, do not rely on spanking as personally as a major punishment or reward. But I'm against a lot of things in terms of parenting practices that are soft, kinder, gentler kind of interventions. So it's just funny to me that the assumption right there is I'm going to tell you not to spank your kids. Just hopefully I can get you better, more effective tools to parent with so that spanking fades away rather naturally. Hopefully that is just down and clear. One of my goals is get rid of it rather naturally, but I never say don't spank your kids. And I think one of the biggest problems people have is they decide that spanking's bad, and their parents really didn't use anything else, and they haven't seen anything else, and nothing else happens, and we end up with a bunch of Veruca assaults. And other spoiled children who and I don't like the term spoiled anyway. These children are generally neglected, but their main problem really isn't that they're not punished. Veruca Salt's big problem was she was rewarded for the wrong thing, and whether you punish or don't punish, or reward or don't reward, very often the problem is you're rewarding the wrong behavior or punishing the wrong behavior. I've got two stories about that. The rewarding the wrong behavior is really clearly seen when a parent bribes their child to keep quiet in the grocery store after they've thrown a fit. That is rewarding the bad behavior that they just got, and that's going to likely result in another tantrum next time so that the child can get some kind of treat. Okay, so it wasn't spanking, but it was still wrong. How can spanking be? Spanking can be just as wrong, just as much of a problem in terms of punishing the wrong thing. One of the stories I heard in class, one of my teachers told, is a parent went to a psychologist who happened to be very much a behaviorist, and said, I've got two sons, they're 5 and 6, and they've just got the worst potty mouths ever. How do I get them to stop swearing? And the behaviorist said, well, you have to make sure that after they swear, the very next thing that happens is that they're punished. So make sure nothing else happens first. So the parent takes that and goes the next morning. The two little boys come down for breakfast, and the one little boy says, I'm hungry, and the parent says, okay, what do you want for breakfast? And the little boy says, I'll have some goddamn Cheerios. And the parent whacks him right on the mouth and makes sure, how dare you say that? And then the parent turns to the other little boy and says, so what will you be having for breakfast? And the other little boy says, well, you can bet your sweet ass it won't be Cheerios. So, being a parent's a pretty hard job, and it's a difficult job for a lot of reasons. But the difficulty in making sure you're punishing and rewarding the right things at the right times, that's what's difficult. And I've got something fairly a lot of parents don't like to hear it when I say these things, but the truth is there's no right or wrong way to parent. There's only what does and doesn't work for that particular child. So I'll talk more about that in future videos.